Now that the draft and free agency are over, there's a lot of different things going on with a lot of NFL teams. And for our Raiders, I got to be honest. I feel like there's a lot of teams that could be looking at a lot of different things just in terms of their rookies, their undrafted free agents, whoever, doesn't matter. But I think there are 5 Las Vegas Raiders rookies that could definitely surprise for the Raiders. And I can't be more excited. I'm literally so excited. So I think it all comes down to really how you're able to put things together. And I do think at the end of the day, you're in a spot where, again, you really need to focus on building for the future, and there's a lot of guys here that I think will be a big part of that. So I do feel like at the end of the day, the biggest thing for me is, how can you bring these guys along? What different things can you do to make sure that you incorporate these 5 players? And I think that's going to be a big question. So surprise number 1 are players that could surprise number 1, Neil Farrell Jr. and Matthew Butler. We have been on it. We have been saying it for a little bit now that, again, you double down on defensive tackle for a reason. You see these 2 guys as being long-term options for you at that defensive tackle position. And honestly, I love it. You talk about Neil Farrell Jr. use that 6'2", 6'3", 330 around there. You just love it. A guy that's going to plug the run, can get after it in the pass a little bit too. Nice hand usage. Had a couple sacks last year. Well, actually, let's jump right into these 2. You talk about 2 guys that obviously Neil Farrell Jr.'s stats above, and then you've got Matthew Butler's stats below. So you talk about, again, Neil Farrell Jr. there, getting him especially in the 4th round. I think maybe it could be a valuable pick. I did see him going a little lower, but or a little bit later, in the 2022 NFL draft, but I think this could be a good pick overall. Then you talk about getting a guy like Matthew Butler in the 5th round, had 5 sacks last year for the Volunteers. Love it, absolutely love it. I think he's going to do a lot of good things and a lot of different things for the Raiders in terms of interior pass rush, which was seriously something that they really needed to get a lot better at, and I think that's going to be a main focus of it this offseason. And I think this could be this is where you start to set the tone up front with these 2 players, and I can't be more excited. Surprise number 2 for the Raiders. Yeah, defensive end Zach Van Valkenburg. Great last name. Think he could be an even better player. So we talk about players that just, they may not be the biggest freaks, but they've got the size, they've got the speed to be able to make something happen. And man, he just reminds me of Jared Allen. Like, he's not the biggest guy, he's not the fastest or strongest guy, but every single play is his last play. That's the way he plays it. I love it. We're talking about a guy, that honestly I could see him, coming in and was a 2-year major player for the Hawkeyes. You take a look here. This last season really had a bounce out year. 58 total tackles, 15 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks. I really think he could be a guy that comes in at that defensive end position, even outside linebacker, whatever they want to put him. But he reminds me a lot of Jared Allen, the way he gets off, the way he uses his hands. This is going to be a very interesting pick. And again, that way you can free up Chandler Jones to be more on that right side. Crosby obviously is going to start on that left side. So this could be the perfect player you put in that right spot, that right defensive end spot, to be able to make some noise. And again, I think, if you do put him on the field, I think he will produce. I think he will be a guy that is honestly going to be a guy you can build this defense upon. And I'm just ecstatic. This was a great draft and a great UDFA period for the Raiders. Surprise number 3 and 2 players I think you need to watch out for. Yes, Thayer Munford and Bamidele Olaseni. So we talked about Thayer Munford, who played a lot of left tackle for the Ohio State Buckeyes, or played some. You also had Bamidele Olaseni. Bam Olaseni. Here's the thing. Excuse me. I think, honestly, could be their starting right tackle by the end of next season, or at least by the start of next season. Like, that's how high I think of him. I think you're in a position where you don't need to really You don't need to rush anybody. I think you've got a starting left tackle and a good enough starting right tackle. But I think in the future, if you look at him, he could be your guy. And I think Thayer Munford he's played some guard, he's played some tackle. But I think overall, I think you could really put him at that right tackle spot, kind of develop him in that area, that 6'6", 328 range. There's some things to work on, but you like what you see from a guy like Thayer Munford. There's a lot to work with. I think, again, this entire offseason is going to be focused on getting the players that you want to take a serious look at and see where they fit with your scheme. And I think Thayer Munford and Bamidele Olaseni are two guys that you need to seriously. I just love Bam. His size is just massive. Again, honestly, you could put Munford at guard, you could put Olaseni at tackle. I mean, just whatever you want to do. But these later round guys, they are intriguing and they will bring a lot to this offensive line for the Raiders. But that is it. Let us know what you guys think about our 5 Las Vegas Raiders rookies that could surprise or find a way to get themselves on the football field and do something for the the Raiders here. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. In the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our 5 Las Vegas Raiders rookies that could surprise.